Toa and Bamba come across an alien named Cardena along their way. They learn that the Druidon had invaded her homeworld of Sepius, and she fled to Earth for her life. Then, just after Cardena shortly arrived, a new powerful opponent, Ryu-view, arrives on Earth. Cardena asks the RyuSoulgers to help save her sister, who has been captured by Ryu-view. Kishiryu Sentai RyuSoulger, Episode 7, Princess of Sepius. So, in this episode, we're introduced to aliens, in a way. They are from a different planet. Cardena and Fida, who are being followed by the Druidon Tribe, who invaded their homeworld, and one of them is captured, and the other one is met by Toa and Bamba, who take her to the rest of the RyuSoulgers, and we're also introduced to Ryu, who is the new general in the Druidon Tribe. He's kind of a as Ko calls him, a goofball. He's a goofball. He's a bit of a coward as well. Part of the plot in here is that kids are being captured and being used by Ryu and the Druidon Tribe to be against the RyuSoulgers and to act as pretty much human shields. Because who's gonna attack a child? Who's gonna cut down a child to get to to one of the Druidon Tribe generals, or any member of the Druidon Tribe, unless it was probably Toa and Bamba prior to all of their character development, pretty much. But introduced to Ryu, introduced to Cardena and Fida, who are presumably going to be part of this two-parter. It is a two-parter episode. So the pacing was actually a bit better in this episode. It wasn't as quick. It was still slightly quick, but not as quick as the previous episodes. The flow between each scene wasn't just as abrupt. Highlights of this episode are definitely the choreography in the fight scenes. So them going into fights and then transforming mid-fights, I actually found really good. The camera work and the choreography of those scenes was done very well. So that is absolutely a highlight within the episode. And we're also introduced a different form for Kishiryu 3 Nights, which is Fortress Mode. It's not, it's okay. It's not supposed to be grand or anything. I'm wondering where they got the idea for that for. But how it's introduced is they accept it as just, they already knew that this was something they could do. Like, they're getting attacked by the cockatrice Minosaur, the Minosaur that's created in this episode. And Melt just says, hey, let's just use Fortress Mode. Like, how do you know that? You know hardly anything about your Kishiryu, so how do you know that Kishiryu has a Fortress Mode, has this alternative, this alternate mode to itself? And it could have been easily explained with Tiramigo telling them, because in this episode, Tiramigo is starting to learn how to talk, not just telepathically to Ko, but actually talking itself with the other RyuSoulgers. So, Tiramigo could have just told them, it's like, I have an alternative mode that we can briefly use for this situation, and called Fortress Mode, etc., etc. It would have been a bit exposition-y, but it would have made sense that Tiramigo is the main mech of that part. Of course, he would know what forms they could have, so it would have made much more sense for that scene, instead of just Melt for some reason just automatically knowing, hey, there's a Fortress Mode for our Zords. But overall, I give this episode a 3.5 out of 5 RyuSouls. It was above average. It wasn't anything too grand. They've slightly fixed up the pacing, but it is still kind of quick in a lot of parts. But I believe that this is because this is actually a two-parter episode. It kind of ends on a cliffhanger. Melt is a bit suspicious of the two princesses for a single reason. I won't say why, but it leads into the next episode, episode 8. So that's probably why the pacing wasn't as quick, because it wasn't a episode that was contained within itself. Although, to be fair, the previous 2 episodes, which were technically 2-parters, they were also really quick as well. So it could just be the plot of this episode. How they figure out that Cardena's sister Fida was captured by the Druidon Tribe was a huge coincidence, as Melt and Toa and Bamba, they all say, no, we're going to help you, Cardena, despite the fact you're very high and mighty, because you're royalty and you think you should be pampered and treated as royalty by everyone. We'll help you because you obviously care about your sister. And Bamba just asks, how important is she to you? And she starts singing. It's a song the two share, her and Fida share with each other. And the only reason why she sings is because Ko arrives, and Ko's heard this song before from Fida without knowing that it was Fida. And he says, hey, wait, I've heard that song before, and takes him to the carnival where Fida is captured, where she's been held hostage by the Druidon tribe. And it's just a huge coincidence. Really, the only reason why Cardena sings is literally for that, just for the plot, because the plot said so in order to advance it. I mean, my main kind of small gripe with it, but it didn't ruin the episode for me, above average episode. So that was it. Thank you all for watching. I'll see you all next time. 正義に使え闇を立て、キシル